Now it's going. We have to start again. Okay. We're doing a second start on this one. We've actually completed the full intro within the last 5 minutes. We're moving on to the explanation of what would happen when we first started an interview. So we've talked about meeting, introducing themselves, positioning of the interviewee, which would be 5 feet away, to project the voice. They will talk to you prior to the interview to help you relax, make you comfortable. If they don't, just go with the flow. But usually a good panel could be 1 to 4 people to make you relax with all of them, okay? And they'll probably all ask you questions, okay? Remember to talk with a decent voice level, project your voice. Another thing is keep your answers short. If they want more information, they will prompt you for information, okay? So give them the answer to what they want as if it's a closed question, all right? Closed meaning not just yes or no, give the information, then stop. Because some people will rattle on like I am at the moment, okay? And they don't really want that. They just want the answer to their question, okay? Do you remember that? We've discussed keywords on how to be aware of them. So what we're going to do now is go through consideration points prior to conducting an interview or going to an interview. Alright, now as of yesterday I picked up that you're a good reader. You've got fairly decent vocabulary with English, and I would like you to go through the first part. So if you could read the first sentence and ask a question if you've got anything, and speak loud.
Hello, Adeline. Welcome to our office. Please relax. I am the chairman of this interview panel.
Oh, sorry.
Read your application several times prior to interview. Highlight keywords in the questions you were asked.
Okay, one word I picked up is several. Can you say several for me?
Several.
Good. Okay, next one.
Get online and check the internet and the company you are hoping to work for. Read about what they do, who they work for, if they have received any complaints.
Complaints. Why do you think I'd say complaints? Compliments. Oh, compliments and complaints, sorry. So I missed complaints. What I meant by complaints, obviously, is if they're doing anything illegal or they don't have a good reputation. Where I put something at the top, a good reputation or whatever. So that's something to be aware of. Okay, if you see too many negative comments on the internet, I probably wouldn't even accept the interview. I would ring them up and say, sorry, I'm not interested, thank you. Or say you've got another job somewhere else. Be polite about it. Okay, next one,
Try to think of any questions you think they may ask you and come up with decent responses, then memorize it.
Okay, what word then do you think you had problems with saying? Decent. Good. So do you understand what I mean there? What questions you think they may ask you? Obviously, when you get an interview, you send in an application form with a cover letter. So you've written, or what we call address the selection criteria. Some of your answers may be a bit funny, so that they may think, okay, I'm not too sure about an answer here, so they may ask a question about that. So where I said at the top, read your application several times, gives you an idea of what they're going to talk to you about, okay, and help you come up with questions you think they may ask. So you could pre-write an interview thing like we've done here, and you could write some answers to what you think they may ask you. So if you're prepared, instead of thinking on your feet when they ask you, you've already got an answer in your head. Okay? Obviously you won't have notes. You can take it and read out because it's got to come out of your brain. Alright, so you've got to be a quick thinker and be authoritative with your answer. Okay? So if you can prepare some responses to some possible questions, that will help you a lot. Okay? Alright, make sure.
Make sure you have appropriate plugs for the interview.
Okay, what do you think I mean by that?
Appropriate.
Appropriate. Okay. Now what is appropriate for a job interview?
Proper.
A suit, vest, nice skirt or slacks. Or slacks. Trousers, you know, with pretty dress. You reckon lots of makeup? No. They want to see your face. Okay, your pretty face, show them your pretty face. Too many people wear too much makeup. Okay, and don't be all giggly. They don't want that. They want you to smile and enjoy it, but not laugh at everything. Okay, if they just crack a joke, fine. Oh, that is good. No, thank you. And that's it. Okay, be well rested. What do you think I mean by that?
Before the interview, you have to rest well.
Have a good sleep.
Yes.
Have a good sleep. Don't stress.
Yes.
Okay, be relaxed. Okay, next one.
Take note when you go into the interview room and your surroundings.
Yeah. Okay, that's really good. So with that, I mean, look for these. Sometimes they might have one of these somewhere. They should tell you there's one there, but be aware there could be one, so they can go through and review them later. And then pick the top 5 or 3, and then they'll sit down and watch the video to see how you responded. Okay. Other things could be certificates on the wall, or photos of appropriate people, like the director. And you look down at the interview panel and go, "You're the director. You're interviewing me. What happened to HR? Hiring and recruitment doing the interview. I've got the big boss. That means they must really like me." That should give you some more, wow, this is good. I'm getting interviewed by the general manager. Okay? So have a good look around the room. Okay? Just to be aware, and that helps you refresh your mind. Okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Good. Alright, next one.
Think of questions to ask them that will help you decide if you actually want to work for the company.
Okay, what was the word? Have problems with them? Actually. Alright. And what does that mean? Means yes, you're interested. Okay. Alright. Next one.
Make sure you show your respect to people. Turn your phone off so they see you do it prior to the interview.
Okay, what do you think I mean by that?
Before the interview, you should...
Yeah, you don't walk into an interview talking to someone on the phone or answering messages, okay? Or if your phone rings during an interview, because it shows lack of respect for the panel who are trying to talk to you, okay? So make sure before you sit down or interview or before you start, you say, "Oh, excuse me, I just need to turn my phone off," all right? And they go, "Oh, smart," shows you've got respect. Or you do it as you go walking in. Turn it off, and then, "Oh, I've just turned it off, sorry." And then put it, like, apologise, and put it in your pocket or in your bag that it's off. And they will see that. That shows enthusiasm. Okay? Good one? You think you remember that, or you like that one? About the phone? Not many people think of that one, do they? It's like going in a movie theatre when phones are ringing all the time or someone talking. Okay, what's the next one?
Check a portfolio with at least 5 copies of your resume and certificates, as well as a notepad to take notes during the interview.
Okay, I picked up 3 words there. Alright. Portfolio. Portfolio. Louder. Because you go quiet on the O, it's a portfolio. Not portfolio. I say portfolio, loud. Then resume. Good. And certificates. Good. So does that make sense to you? If you go in with one copy of your CV and you give one person, these people here haven't got it, whereas they can, with your CV, have copies of all your certificates as well. So there's 5 copies. Even if you only need 3, you've got 2 spare. Okay? You can give one to the HR person if you need to, right? If they ask, have you got any more copies? Yes, I do. Here you go. So you're prepared. Shows that you're enthusiastic, professional. Okay? So extra. The notebook, what do you think you have the notebook there for? Notepad. That's for you. So you take a notepad for you to take notes during, if you need to. Okay? Not about the English, about things that you might want to ask them or things they say that you need to be aware of. Because they may say things that don't really appeal to you and you may need to bring that up later and say, look, I don't really want to travel to China 3 times a month for 2 days and come back home. I would rather possibly go over there for a week, do everything in that week because I'm using a lot of my time travelling. And you might not want to travel all the time. So little things that may be brought up that interest you or do not interest you and you're aware of, so that you can respond later, okay, or help you make a decision if they offer you the job. Alright, when you meet?
When you meet them, greet with a good handshake, good eye contact, nod your head, show interest in what they are saying. It shows respect.
Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? Yeah, look at, yeah, I agree, yeah. They talk, yeah, that makes sense, yeah, okay, no, I don't agree with that, but yeah, I like the bit about going here or there, you know, it just shows enthusiasm, alright? Firm handshake, that's obvious when you meet them, to be polite, introduce yourself. Okay, next one.
Always arrive 10 to 15 minutes early for all interviews.
Okay, now that's normal time, not Filipino time.
Yes.
Okay, Filipino time is 2 hours late.
Yes.
Okay, so do you understand what I mean by that? Do you, when you go to school, you know how you arrive at school before class in the morning? Same. Always turn up 10 to 15 minutes early. You never turn up late for an interview because others go, zip. She's not that interested. Okay, so always early. Good one. Next one.
Say the right things with left to questions, don't use slang words, and try to keep answers short. If they want more info, they will ask you to elaborate.
So what, did you know what was that last word?
Elaborate.
What's that mean to you?
Explain more.
Good, well done. And did you pick the slang word I put in there?
Yeah.
What's the word I put in there that's been slang?
Slang.
Yeah, I use this, and don't use slang. So I put that in there, but I said a word that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 words in that sentence. What is it? I abbreviated a word. Ref. What do you think ref means? With reference. So I've gone ref, and then I said slang or abbreviation. So try to use the full word. Okay? So, yeah, always be aware. If acronyms and that, you don't know them well enough to know that they know the acronyms of words or the abbreviation. So always use full words when you're saying a sentence during the interview or answering a question. Alright, B, what's the next one?
Accommodating to what they want. Things like start time, travel requirements if required. Anything they bring up as part of your responsibility.
Should be responsible. Okay,
Should be responsible.
so anything that task-based that they explain to you about your job, if you get it, look at it positive. Even if in your head you're saying, oh, I don't like that, or I don't want to do that, you still want the job. So show the respect, just nod and say, yeah. And when it comes down to it later, unless they say, is there anything you're not happy with about the job, right, then you could bring it up. But depending on how keen you are, if you say, oh, I don't really like that, the next person might say, yeah, I'm happy with that. So you want to try and be the top of the list. So by you agreeing to everything, shaking your head, bit of physical motion, show, smile, yes, be happy with everything, helps them pick you as the top of the list, okay? Okay, what's the next one?
try to use the same language they use in the interview. And hint is how they use words in your application in the questions, or how they use words in the interview.
Terminology. Say it again. Terminology.
Terminology.
Yes.
Buzzwords like minded, real words they use in the question response.
Okay. Do you understand that? So basically, from the selection criteria that you've responded to, keywords in there could be sound technical or whatever, you've had to look up in a dictionary, for instance, because you didn't know what it was. So, what's that? I've got to answer this. What's it mean? Okay. Information technology. Okay. Different computer software programs. It could be a part of the question. So you need to try and talk at the same level that you expect, or they're talking to you in. Okay. So if they're using what IT, see that's an acronym. IT, information technology, they expect you to know that, right?
Yes.
So you can say, I've used Microsoft Office, Excel, and blah, 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 whatever IT programs you use with accounting that you get taught at university, you should be able to pull off the top of your head. So you've got to talk fast, instead of sitting there, you've got to be able to, quick response, as quick as possible. Take a little pause, 2, 3, 5 seconds to think, right? Do what you just did then. Eyes there, okay. Then give your answer. You don't just have to go straight away because you may make a boo-boo and say something wrong. So have a little pause, short pause, then give your answer. Do you reckon big long-winded answer or short answer? Good. Okay, so you like that idea? Do you think that'll help you? Okay, next one.
Complement them in hard questioning by asking them to clarify the question a bit. This gives you more time to come up with good answers and may even get them to make the question easier.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that? So if I ask you a really hard question or something that you do not understand at all, you might sit there for ages and you've got no idea what you want. So instead of doing that, just come back and say, look, excuse me, I'm not quite sure what you're after. Can you elaborate a bit for me, please? Okay? And be polite about it. So it doesn't make you look like an idiot for not knowing. I'm not sure about that program. Could you elaborate a bit for me? Or, I'm sorry, I do not have an answer for that. Straight out, and they will appreciate it because you're not wasting their time. Okay? Good? Alright. Next one.
You like the job and want it. After the interview is over, let them know you want the job. Be specific. I think this is what I want to be. This is where I think I could really fit in here. It will show you're enthusiastic about the company and the job.
Yeah. So you like that? So at the end of the interview, and someone's talking to you, I think I could really fit in here, but make sure it's a part of one of the people from the panel. Because once you leave, they'll sit around and have a bit of a talk about you. Okay? And there'll be a pile for no, a pile for good. Alright? You want to be in the good pile of people they like. Okay? Alright, now, any questions on that? This is to help you prepare for an interview. Alright? Good information there. I hope it helps you. Could you keep this if you want? Alright, now this is basically an interview flow sheet, okay? And we'll do it a bit like a playlist. In some areas where we won't go, or I'll get you to ask me questions. If there's a question there you don't know, say, Craig, can I ask you this answer, this question? And then I'll give you an example, okay? So, okay, hello Adeline, I've just got your name wrong. Welcome to our office, please relax. I'm the chairman of the interview panel. And a good one for that would be that big picture at the front with a whole heap of people and you sitting there going, alright, which hopefully by now you're not nervous. You've a big smile on your face, you got an interview. Positive step. Alright, can you tell me about yourself? Now, with this one, I've basically given you, see, yeah, all this information here. I'll get you to read this out loud, just nice and slow. Stop if you want to, and we'll discuss things. Because it's to help you prepare a short story about yourself that's not in your CV. So what they've got in your CV, they've read about. They don't need to hear about it again. But this is where you show them the real you. Okay, so have a read. Read it out loud. And I'll listen for words you're having a problem pronouncing, or explain anything you want to explain.
And see if you will fit. And see if you will fit in. Try to come up with a 4 to 5 minutes presentation about your self-worth, accountability.
Okay, self-worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you're what they want.
Yes.
Okay, keep going. Accountability.
Accountability for results.
Accountability.
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 Good. Do you know what that means? Okay, what accountability means is this is your phone, yes? If I'm going to keep it, it's my accountability now, is it your phone? You want it back.
Yes.
Your responsibility. You own this. You're accountable for this phone. If this is a work phone and you lose it, you have to go and tell the bosses and you pay for it. So they give you a new work phone. That's accountability, example. Right? Lots of different ways, but it means you're responsible for something. Like you're giving a big account to look after as an accountant, to manage, you're accountable for that account. Okay? The results. So whether it fails or makes money, you're accountable. Right. Okay, next one, you're a team player. So you work well in teams, yes? At school, sports, discussions, arguments, whatever. You're a team player. You don't go out by yourself and do it all yourself and take all the credit. If your team gets good marks for something, everyone gets good marks for something, not just you. Okay? But you're in charge, you're accountable, but you're also a team player. So that's what this is, positive things that you've got to say about yourself. Likes to help others, yeah?
Likes to help others when required.
Good. You know what that means? You know what that means?
Yes.
Tell me. What do you think it means?
You're voluntarily doing if someone else needs your help, then you will voluntarily do that.
Yeah, go and give them a hand. Okay. Next one. What's the next word?
Punctual.
Punctual.
Yes. Always.
Punctual? Say.
Punctual.
Good. And what's that mean?
Always come on the exact time.
Yeah, not Filipino time.
Yes.
Or what we call pensioner time in Australia. Okay, punctual. If you've got to be there, you make sure your watch is right, or your whatever you use, your telephone. You have to be somewhere, try and be 5 minutes early, at least. Always be there on time or a little bit early. Okay? Next one. What's the next one?
Problem solving.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. Alright. Okay. Any what?
Any major positive things you have done in your life that
Okay.
shows good personality traits.
Okay, so, alright, I've only known you for 2 days now. I've got my opinion of you thus far. You want to improve my opinion of you. What have you done that makes you stand above other people? Tell me.
Sorry?
Tell me something about yourself that makes you stand a bit higher than other people. Don't be shy. Tell me something.
I am a very responsible person, and I am very dedicated to everything, and I am taking myself to...
Don't be shy.
Don't be defeated.
It's okay. So see, you told me some good positive aspects about yourself. Alright, so you need to prepare. This is something, you only get 4 to 5 minutes to say all these things. So, and I think there's more. Is there more? No, that's it. So basically, 4 or 5 minutes to tell a short story about yourself that impresses me. I will think, wow, that other person, none of her traits. You know what I mean by traits? Things about you. Positive things. So you've got 4 to 5 minutes. You don't want to go much longer than that. And you try not to use things that's in your CV, because they've read that about you already. They know you've got a certificate in your account. They know you did really good in high school. They know you've had one job. These are things about you. Family life. I'm always helping my mother do the homework. I've got 3 brothers who have problems at school. I always help them with their homework. You know, I encourage my sports team, and we won the volleyball competition because I motivated them. You know, little things like that. Okay? Alright. Now here's a question for you. What's this one? Read these ones out to me.
This question is mainly to show them that you can communicate. First,
That's basically what that 4 to 5 minutes. They want to see that you can talk about yourself in a positive aspect. Alright? So, and it is mainly to see if you can communicate. Alright? Alright. Next one.
first impression is very important, so keep it in and not your last story.
Yeah.
4 or 5 minutes on.
So does it make sense, all that stuff we just discussed? Cool. We're going to go okay, let's do some of these interview questions now. Alright? This is a quick question. It's mainly to show them... Oh no, we've done that one. Well, we are looking for new members of our accountancy firm. We would like to know what you think you can offer us if you can become a member of our team. Can you? Tell me. What can you offer me?
I am a dedicated person. I am willing to serve your company well. I am a skilled worker when it comes to accounting, and I will make sure that your company
Relax, slow down, calm down.
I will make sure that I can provide anything you want in the company.
Alright, so can you see what I mean? That's a common question. That's a common question. Remember I said, try and come up with answers to the questions you think they may ask you? The first one they always ask you is tell me about yourself. That's a guaranteed one. And this is the number 2. So these are questions that you will be asked. So what if you could write things like plan ahead and do it. Write it up, memorize it. You were talking a little bit too fast. Remember, you want to relax. You're trying to show them that you're a very competent person. You think things carefully and talk properly. Not going 100 miles an hour. You come up with some good comments, very good comments. Your English is really good. Sometimes you would be a bit, but you know your vocabulary, as I said yesterday, is very good. But you need to be more confident when you're talking. Okay? Alright, what's the next question?
I'm not really good at talking.
Well, this is a part of it. We want you to talk comfortably. Talk as an English speaker. Okay? Hopefully yesterday helped you a lot. Right? And doing this, me making you read it, and then saying, okay, answer that question. I'm putting you on the spot, you've got to go, oh shit, what do I do? Hopefully you've pre-done the answers to some of these questions that you thought of in yourself. Shows you're a smart person. Okay, what's the next one? So you said you're still at university or have completed a degree. How did you find your studies?
I find it easy, but sometimes it's hard because of the instructor. He didn't teach us well. But I didn't let myself to give up on it. I'm still taking myself.
Okay, now what I've written there is a bit negative because you made the teacher sound poor as a teacher. Okay, I struggled a little bit, which is good. That's good that you struggled. However, you overcome it through commitment, blah, blah, blah. Just come up with positive things. Try and think, yes, I found it very competitive, sometimes difficult. However, I overcome this through diligence and study from myself and my family helping me. Short, sharp answer. You've given me the answer I want. You've passed. And instead of reflecting on some teacher who you didn't like or didn't teach or was a poor teacher, you say you had some difficulty. That sort of says that. But you're not, because they might go back to your school. If this is your first job, they might go to your accounting teacher and say, oh, how did she go at school? Because this teacher is now what we call a referee. on your CV you put references, references. They might say, oh, who was your teacher? Oh, Mr. Williams at St. Joseph's Cebu College. And they'll go and ring him and say, oh, blah, blah, blah. By the way, she said you're a bad teacher. You know what that had mean? Okay, so try and be positive as much as possible. Okay, next question. Some questions may be personal, right? So listen to me. Marital status, i.e. married, single, divorced, boyfriend. Do you have any children? How far do you travel to come here? Was the traffic bad? Some more maybe, then you may to the questions in reference to whatever. So basically this is what they're asking. They're trying to see, because you're a woman, right, marital status. You're single, fine. No responsibilities. Okay, if you're married, you need to be home to cook dinner. If you've got children, you've got to look after children. Another more personal question, even if you've got a boyfriend, they may say, are you planning on having children? I'm not even sure if I put that in there. They might want to know, are you planning to have children next month, get pregnant next month? Why do you think they'd want to know that? Because they're going to give you money while you look after the baby. So competitiveness. So no, I'm happily single. Like that. Or if you're married, you tell them the truth. No, we've had children, or we can't have children, or we're not planning on having children for at least 5 years. We want to get to know each other. Something positive. So you're not making them think, oh shit, we're going to only have it for 6 months and then we're going to lose her. Okay? So you're making yourself more attractive. We have to move on to more questions with referee. Alright, then they may, with your response on the application form, some of your answers to the criteria, what we call selection criteria, which is what the job's about. They want to know what you know about the job. They may not be happy with one or two of your comments, or may not understand your wording, so they may ask you questions on that. So that's just something to be prepared for as well. As I said, read your application several times and try and highlight, or get someone else to read it. And they'll go, oh, this bit here doesn't make sense. We haven't answered. So you're ready for it. You go, okay. It might be a month later, they say, come in for an interview. But you've got it highlighted. And when you do this form, before you go to the interview, you make it all up. Okay, this is what I think they're going to ask me, blah, blah, blah. Have that there, ready. And then come up with an answer. And you go, oh, yes, I remember that. I'm sorry. I meant to say I did this at university and I got honours for it. Or something like that. Whatever the question is, okay? Alright. Then they may move on to more questions with reference to letter out the paper. Okay, done that. Okay, how long have you wanted to be an accountant?
Since grade 11, I'm in grade 11.
What motivated you to become an accountant? What made you give a goal that's what I want to do? Tell me.
That's what my heart tells me, that follow this.
Why? It's numbers, it's boring.
Actually, I'm not really good at it, first of all, but I'm taking myself on it until it will become my passion, because I love it.
Okay, right. They could probably be a bit better, but it was short, sharp. You could probably improve on a little bit, but you had everything there, right? But I got you, because I pushed you, man. I pushed you hard, didn't I? Tell me. All right, but this is where they want to know how enthusiastic you are about that subject. Okay? You say, my uncle's an accountant, my mum's an accountant, and I can see that the lifestyle they have with their jobs, and it's given me motivation to be like them. Okay? How much do you expect to be paid per year? What salary do you want? Because you're an accountant, you might be really good, and it might be a really big firm. Okay? So what salary do you want a year?
I don't know.
I'm going to offer you anything. How much money do you want a year? Okay, I'll give you 30,000 pesos a month. Are you happy with that?
No.
No? Why not? That's a good offer, isn't it?
Call center.
That's call centre? So how much do you want? I'm asking you, what sort of salary would you like? 50,000 a month. Good. See, you come up with But look at the way you're giggling now. This is a question you need to be prepared for.
Yes.
Okay? So you can't go at interview. You can't do that. You need to be prepared.
Okay.
Because that may be a question they may ask you. Alright? Make sense?
Yes.
Right. What's the next one? Okay. What experience do you have in accounting? What accounting software programs have you used?
We didn't use anything yet.
I read one out to you before. Microsoft Office, Excel and Access. So that'd be one you can say. But during your degree, they'll teach you. So that's something you need to be prepared for. The question about the software packages. Then I might say, what faults have you found with that program? Stuff like that, technical, okay?
Only in our IT section.
But this is just some questions. How do you know any accountants, or do you know any accountants who may have told you about their duties? You say, yes, my mum. Or just an idea. It's just a hypothetical question. Where do you plan to be in 5 years?
In the bank.
You want to work in a bank?
Yes.
That's a good job. Good, secure environment. So what do you want to do, loans, or you just want to do all the accounting and that's it? Accounting, okay, good. What hobbies do you enjoy?
Counting numbers.
You're sick. Oh. You play sport? No? You like cooking?
Yes.
Do you do art, painting or drawing?
Yeah, drawing.
Karaoke?
Yeah, karaoke.
That's a hobby. Hobby, interest, okay? So come up with some of those.
Okay.
Not just accounting. Do you think you could fit in our firm? And what problems do you think we may have? Now, this is a key word, right? You can say, yeah, I think I can fit in your firm, but where they've gone, and then they've said a different one. What problems do you think you may have? So you need to think about that. That's a key word. Is there anything you think may be negative for you working in that company? You can probably say, oh, I don't foresee any problems working here. From what I can see, it's a very lovely company. All the staff are extremely frank because you're giving them compliments now. Okay? Instead of coming up with a problem saying there's only a male toilet, where's the female toilet? Or there's 99% men in this building, where's all the women? That may put them on the back foot. So just think of things like that, okay? Possible question that might come up. Do you plan on having children in the near future?
No.
No? Why not? You look like you'd be a good mum.
I'm not ready.
Not ready?
Yes.
Good. My husband and I are not ready. I'm not married, I'm happily single. I want to work on my career for a while.
Yes.
Okay? Something like that. So that could be a negative question. They're putting it out there to trick you, to find out more about you. Okay? We are staffed by mainly men. Do you think it would be an issue for you, being one of the only women in the company?
No.
No? No problems with working with just men?
No.
Okay, good. Tell us some strengths and weaknesses. This is another one that you have to plan. All your strengths and weaknesses. They may ask you, they may not. They may just say, what are your strengths? I'm trustworthy, I'm loyal, I'm committed, take responsibility. A bit of what you put in that 4 to 5 minutes. So anything you missed up there, you can put in here. Your weaknesses. Oh, I don't like spiders. I don't like ippies. I don't like snakes. I don't want to jump out of a plane. Things like that. Okay. Any questions?
No.
You sure? Have I confused you? Do you think you've learned anything new?
No, it helped me much.
It helped you a lot.
Yes.
It's given you things to think about, hasn't it?
Yes.
So, to start planning. Because remember I said when you're at university, it costs a lot of money. If you're relying on mum and dad, right, I know you need to study a lot, but if you want to find a job to help mum and dad pay for your degree, right, this is a good way. Remember what I said. Even if you get interviews, you apply for lots of jobs, which people do. I've applied for heaps of jobs in my life. And I've gone to every interview, because you always learn. Ooh, I said this wrong. Take a note. As soon as you get a chance, I stuck this up. Okay? Anyway, as I said yesterday, your English is pretty good. We only found like 5 or 6 words that you had difficulty with. Okay? And I saw you circling. So you've got this. You can go look them up in the dictionary. Maybe a thesaurus. You know what a thesaurus is? It's a book that's got one word, but it gives you other words that mean the same as this one. So you've got a dictionary and a thesaurus. So if you're trying to think of a word, if you don't like that word, you look it up in the thesaurus and it comes up with other options of words you can use. So that might be another book to look at. Okay? Got any questions? Final chance? No? Thank you. You've been a great student. Pleasure meeting you. I hope you get the job.
Thank you.
Alright, relax.